The day my best friend's mom told me I had to suck the poison out of her thigh started like the most normal Saturday of my life. Nothing felt special. Nothing felt dangerous. It felt like one of those days you forget as soon as it ends. I woke up late in my small apartment on the edge of Denver, made cheap coffee, and stared at my laptop pretending I was going to work. I write code for small companies. Landing pages. Dashboards. Clean boxes that move numbers around. It pays the rent, but some days it feels like my life is just blinking text on a screen. Around 9, my phone buzzed. Dylan. One message. You still coming? I groaned. I had forgotten about the hike, his mom's company thing. He had been talking about it all week. Fresh air. Trees. Free food. I typed back yeah and dragged myself up. Jeans. Hoodie. Old hiking boots. A water bottle and 2 protein bars shoved into my bag. The sky over Denver was bright blue. The kind that makes you feel guilty for staying inside. The trailhead was about an hour away. When I pulled into the gravel lot, I saw Dylan's silver Subaru and a white company van. A small group stood near the trail sign, all wearing new gear and matching jackets. Then I saw her. Kara. She stood a little apart, checking a laminated map on a clipboard. Black jacket, olive cargo pants, boots that had actually been used. Her dark hair was pulled back low, no makeup, just sharp eyes and a calm face that missed nothing. She used to be an army nurse. You could tell just by the way she stood. About time, Dylan called. Thought you bailed. Would not do that to you, I said, bumping his shoulder. Kara looked up. Morning, Liam. Her voice was low and steady. She had known me since I was 15, but every time she said my name, it felt like she actually saw me. Morning, Miss Carter, I said, then corrected myself. Kara, sorry. She smiled a little. Kara is fine. You ready for a walk? If it's not a march, I said. She let out a short laugh and turned back to the group. The plan was simple. 4-mile loop. Lunch near a stream. Back before sunset. Kara went over safety rules like she was giving a briefing. Stay on the trail. Watch your footing. Stay in pairs. It did not feel bossy. It felt like she wanted everyone alive. We started up the trail. Dylan and I walked together at first. He joked about work and some girl in his office. After a while, he dropped back to talk football with someone else. That left me near the front with Kara. I mostly listened. I liked her voice, calm, certain. Like even out here, she had a plan. About an hour in, the sky changed. Gray clouds rolled over the peaks. The air got heavy. That smell before rain filled the trees. Kara stopped and looked up. That wasn't in the forecast, she said. Is rain bad? I asked. Not if it's light. But this looks worse. We'll keep moving. The first drops came soft. Then the sky opened. Rain slammed down hard. The trail turned slick. Water ran across the path. Stay close, Kara called. Higher ground if we can. We took a narrow side path that climbed toward rocks. Steeper, but less flooded. My boots slipped once. I caught myself on a tree root. You good? She asked. Yeah, just not used to advanced hikes. This is still beginner, she said. Thunder rolled low and long. The rain got heavier. We reached a tight pass between wet rocks. Kara stepped forward, testing the ground. Then she screamed. It was sharp and fast. She stumbled back, grabbing her thigh. I saw movement near her boot. Thick, dark, coiled. A rattlesnake. It buzzed once, then vanished into the rocks. Kara dropped to one knee, pale rain soaking her hair. Snake, she said through clenched teeth, high on the leg. It got me. My heart slammed into my throat. Dylan was gone. Phones were useless. The storm swallowed everything. She looked straight at me. Liam, she said, you listening? Yeah. I dropped beside her. That was a rattler, venomous. I need you to help me right now. Tell me what to do." She pulled her hand back from her thigh. Blood spread dark through the fabric, high and too close. "The venom is under the skin," she said. "You need to suck it out. Now." For a second, my brain stopped. "What?" She grabbed my wrist hard. "Listen to me. Tear the fabric. Get your mouth on the bite. Draw it out and spit. Do not swallow. Do it fast." My face burned. This was my best friend's mom. This was wrong. This was insane. Her eyes held mine. There was fear, but no panic. "Just trust. I would not ask if it wasn't necessary," she said. "I need you right now." My hands shook as I reached for her pants. And that was the moment everything changed. My hands were shaking so badly I thought I might drop her leg. Rain soaked everything. My hoodie clung to my skin. The fabric of her pants was thick and wet, but I tore it anyway, ripping it up until the skin of her thigh was exposed. I forced myself not to think, not to look anywhere except the bite. 2 puncture marks. Red. Swollen. Angry. "Now," she said. Her voice was tight but steady. "Do it now." I leaned in and pressed my mouth to her skin. The taste hit me instantly. Warm. Metallic. Bitter. My stomach twisted, but I sucked anyway, pulling as hard as I could, then turned and spat into the mud. The rain washed it away like it meant nothing. "Again," she said. I did it again, and again. Each time felt worse. My jaw ached. My lungs burned. But I did not stop. I could not stop. All I could think was keep her alive. That was it. When I finally pulled back, my whole body was shaking. "Is that enough?" I asked. She leaned her head against the rock, breathing hard. "You did good," she said. "You bought me time." Her leg trembled, but the swelling was not racing upward. Not yet. Someone else stood a few feet away, frozen, useless. I barely noticed him. "We can't stay here," Kara said. "We need cover. Higher ground." I remembered a rock shelf we had passed. I told her. She nodded. "Help me up." I slid my arm under her shoulders. She leaned into me, heavy but controlled. Her good leg held. The bitten one shook violently. She bit back a sound. "Lean on me," I said. "I've got you." We moved slowly through the rain, step by careful step. Mud sucked at my boots. Every slip made my heart jump. Her arm tightened around my shoulders. "If you drop me," she said breathlessly, "I'm haunting you." "Noted," I said. "Still not happening." We reached the rock shelf and crouched beneath it. The rain softened, still loud but farther away. I eased her down, stretching her injured leg out gently. She was shivering hard now. I pulled the emergency blanket from my bag and wrapped it around her legs. Her teeth chattered. "You came prepared," she said. "I read your packing list," I said. "You scared me into it." Her mouth curved faintly. "Old habits." I sat beside her, close. Our shoulders touched. The blanket covered part of my leg, too. The space felt small and safe, carved out of chaos. "You can't sleep," I said. "I won't," she replied. "Not yet." "Then talk to me," I said. "Anything." She took a slow breath. "Ask me something." "Were you scared?" I asked. She was quiet for a moment. "Yes." "Not of dying. Of being helpless." "You weren't," I said. "You told me what to do." "I trusted you with it," she said. "And you didn't freeze." Her words hit deeper than I expected. I looked at her face, pale but strong. Rainlight reflected in her eyes. "I didn't have time to freeze," I said. "You trusted me." "I did," she said. "I do." The words stayed between us, warm and heavy. We talked to keep her awake. About my work. About her time as a nurse. About stupid memories with Dylan. Her head rested lightly against my chest at some point. It felt natural, necessary. I wrapped my arm around her shoulders to keep her warm. She did not pull away. "This okay?" I asked. "Yes. We need the heat." Her breath rose and fell against me, slow and deliberate. The storm outside began to fade. Then I heard it. A distant voice. Faint, carried through wet trees. "Did you hear that?" I asked. She lifted her head. "Maybe." The sound came again, louder this time. A shout. Then a whistle. My heart jumped. I shouted back until my throat burned. "Here. Up here." Movement flashed through the trees. Orange jackets. Helmets. Relief crashed into me so hard my knees almost gave out. A ranger climbed up first, calm and focused. He checked her pulse, her breathing, the bite. "You did something for the venom?" he asked. I nodded. I sucked it out. "Right away." "Good," he said. That likely helped. They worked fast. A splint. A stretcher. Radios crackled. Dylan's voice broke through the noise as he scrambled up the trail, his face white with fear. "Mom," she smiled at him, tired but steady. "Got careless," she said. "Snake reminded me I'm human." They carried her down carefully. I walked behind, ready to catch her if anything went wrong. At the ambulance, they loaded her inside. Someone said, "Family only." Dylan climbed in. Before the doors closed, Kara reached for me and gripped my wrist. "Thank you, Liam," she said. "Any time," I replied, though the word felt too small. The siren faded into the distance. I stood there soaked and shaking, watching the road empty again, knowing something in my life had shifted. I just didn't know yet what it was. By the time I got home, the adrenaline was gone. All that was left was the shaking. I peeled off my wet clothes and stood under the shower until the hot water ran out. The water washed away the mud and the blood, but it did not wash away the memory of her leg under my hands or the sound of her voice telling me not to panic. That night, sleep would not come. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the snake, heard the rain, felt that moment when everything could have gone wrong. Under it all was something quieter and harder to ignore. The way she had looked at me under that rock. Not like a kid, not like her son's friend, like someone she had chosen to trust. Around 9, my phone buzzed. A message from Dylan. They gave her anti-venom. Doctor says she'll be okay, staying overnight. Relief hit me so hard I had to sit down. "Good," I typed back. "Let me know if you need anything." I stared at the screen long after, waiting for another message that didn't come. The next day, I tried to work. I opened my laptop, answered emails, fixed small bugs. My fingers moved, but my head stayed on that mountain. Around noon, I stopped pretending. I grabbed my keys and drove to the hospital. The building was all glass and brick. It smelled like coffee and antiseptic. I asked at the desk and found her room. When I reached the door, I hesitated. I wasn't family. I wasn't supposed to be here. I knocked anyway. "Come in," she said. Kara lay propped up in the bed, hair down, IV in her arm. She looked tired but stronger. When she saw me, surprise flickered, then warmth. "Hey," she said. "You came. Just checking on you," I said. "I can go if—" "Sit," she said, pointing to the chair. The room felt small when I sat down. Quiet, except for the soft beeping of the monitor. "How's the leg?" I asked. "Feels like fire," she said. "But I'll live." "Good," I said. The living part. She studied me for a long moment. "They told me what you did," she said. "Everyone keeps saying I was lucky you were there." "I just followed orders," I said. "No," she said softly. "You stayed." Her words landed heavy. "I was scared," I admitted. "I was more scared of losing you than anything else." She blinked, slowly. "That makes 2 of us," she said. Her hand slid across the blanket, stopping just short of mine. I placed my hand near hers, not touching, but close. The door opened. Dylan walked in, coffee in hand. "Hey, man," he said. "Didn't know you were coming." "Just visiting," I said, standing up. Kara said. He was keeping me company. Dylan smiled. Your family anyway, family. The word sat wrong in my chest. I didn't stay long after that. I said my goodbyes and left, knowing I needed distance. Knowing I wanted the opposite. A week passed. Life tried to return to normal. Then Dylan texted. Mom's home. Want to come over this weekend? Saturday afternoon, I stood in their backyard again. Everything looked the same. It felt different. Kara stepped out, walking slower but steady. When she saw me, she smiled. You came, she said. Wouldn't miss food, I joked. We sat outside. Dylan talked. The sun warmed the grass. Normal sounds filled the air. But every so often, Kara's eyes met mine. Later, Dylan went inside. The yard went quiet. Walk with me, she said. I need to keep this leg moving. We walked slowly toward the fence. I know you have questions, she said. I do, I admitted. That night was real, she said. What I felt was real. So was what I felt, I said. She stopped and faced me. We don't rush, she said. We don't lie to ourselves either. She touched my arm lightly. I see you, Liam. I swallowed. I see you too. From the porch, Dylan called us back. As we turned, she stumbled. I caught her by the waist without thinking. For a second, we were too close to breathe. I've got you, I said. I know, she replied, and in that moment I knew this was only the beginning. After that day, everything moved slower, but nothing felt simple anymore. Life on the surface went back to normal. I worked. Dylan texted memes and complained about his job. Kara healed. But underneath all of it, there was a quiet pull I could not shake. I told myself to be careful. I told myself this was just leftover adrenaline. But every time Dylan mentioned his mom, my chest tightened. Every time my phone buzzed, part of me hoped it was her. 2 weeks after the hike, she texted me. Hey, Liam. Doctor cleared me to walk short distances. Want to grab coffee? I stared at the message longer than I should have. Yeah, I typed back. That sounds good. We met at a small coffee shop near her house. Nothing fancy, just wood tables and soft music. She was already there when I walked in, sitting by the window. She stood carefully when she saw me. Hey, she said. Hey! We both smiled, and then laughed at how awkward it felt. How's the leg? I asked once we sat. Still angry, she said, but getting better. We talked about normal things. Work, weather, Dylan. But there was something under every word, like we were both waiting for the moment the conversation would turn. Finally, she set her cup down. We need to talk about that night, she said. I nodded. Yeah. What happened between us didn't come from nowhere, she said. But it also didn't happen in a normal way. I didn't plan it, I said. I didn't even understand it until later. Neither did I, she said. But it's still real. She looked at me, serious. I don't want secrets. I don't want to hurt my son. And I don't want to pretend nothing changed. Same, I said. I don't want to cross lines that can't be uncrossed. She studied my face. So we move slow, she said. We talk, we're honest. And if at any point this feels wrong, we stop. Okay, I said. There was a pause. She smiled softly. Thank you for not running. I smiled back. Guess I'm bad at that. When we stood to leave, she hesitated, then leaned in and hugged me. It was brief, careful, but it sent a quiet heat through my chest. Over the next month, we kept it safe. Coffee, short walks, long talks, never alone at night. Never anything Dylan could question. But every time she laughed, every time she leaned a little closer, the line blurred. One evening we sat on her porch watching the sun go down. Dylan was inside on a call. She broke the silence. I think about that night sometimes, she said. Me too. Not the snake, she added. The way you stayed. I looked at her. She wasn't looking at me. She was watching the sky. I didn't know I needed that, she said, to feel held without being fixed. I swallowed. I didn't know I could be that for someone, I said. She turned to me then. Her eyes were steady. You were. The door inside slid open. Dylan stepped out. We both shifted back, space snapping into place. Everything okay? He asked. Yeah, Kara said. Just talking. He smiled and went back in. The porch felt quieter after that. I drove home that night, knowing we were walking on something thin, and knowing neither of us wanted to turn back. The problem with going slow is that feelings do not always listen. Weeks passed, and what we were trying to keep contained only grew stronger. It showed up in the pauses, in the way her voice softened when she said my name, in the way I noticed every small thing about her without trying. We never touched in ways that crossed a line, but sometimes our knees brushed under a table, sometimes her hand stayed on my arm a second too long. And every time, my chest tightened like I was holding my breath. Dylan stayed unaware. That made it worse. One night, he invited me over to watch a game. Kara was resting on the couch, leg propped up. I sat in the chair across from her. We barely spoke, but the air between us felt charged. At halftime, Dylan stepped outside to take a call. The house went quiet. Kara looked at me. I don't like hiding, she said. Neither do I. This isn't who I want to be, she said. Sneaking around my own house. I leaned forward, elbows on my knees. Then maybe we stop before it becomes something we regret, I said. She shook her head slowly. Or maybe we stop pretending it already isn't something. Her honesty hit harder than any argument. I care about you, Liam, she said. Not because you saved me. That was just the moment everything became clear. I stood up before I could overthink it and moved closer, stopping just short of her. I care about you too, I said. And that's exactly why this scares me. She reached out, resting her hand on my wrist. If we do this, she said, we do it right. We tell Dylan when the time is right. No lies. I nodded. I won't be the reason you lose your son, I said. You won't, she replied. But you might be the reason I stop feeling alone. The door outside opened. Dylan came back in, laughing about something his boss said. We stepped apart instantly. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, knowing we were running out of space between what felt right and what was safe. A few days later, Kara called me. Can you come over? She asked. Dylan's out. My heart pounded. Are you sure? I asked. Yes, she said. We need to talk without pretending. When I arrived, the house was quiet. She stood in the doorway, leaning on her cane. I stepped inside. We didn't rush. We talked. About boundaries, about fear, about Dylan. At some point, silence took over. She looked at me. I trust you, she said, completely. I took a slow step forward. I won't break that, I said. She reached up, her hand resting on my chest, feeling my heart race. Then we kissed. It was gentle, careful, no urgency, just confirmation. When we pulled back, her eyes were wet. That changes things, she whispered. Yeah, I said. It does. But neither of us stepped away. We knew now. There was no going back. The morning after that kiss, everything felt different. Not dramatic, not chaotic, just clear. Like a fog had lifted and shown us the road ahead, even if it was narrow and complicated. We didn't rush into anything. We didn't sneak around. We didn't pretend that one kiss meant we had all the answers. But we also didn't lie to ourselves anymore. A week later, Kara told Dylan. She asked me if I wanted to be there. I said yes, even though my hands shook the entire drive over. I had faced a rattlesnake without running, but this felt harder. We sat at the kitchen table. Dylan laughed at first, thinking it was a joke. Then he saw our faces. The silence that followed felt endless. Finally, he spoke. So, when did this start? After the hike, Kara said honestly. After the hospital. After we both realized something had changed. Dylan leaned back, rubbing his face. You're my best friend, he said to me. And you're my mom. I know, I said. And I never wanted to hurt you. He stood up and walked to the sink, staring out the window. "I hate this," he said quietly. "Not because it's wrong, but because it's weird. And scary, and I don't know where I fit in it." Kara stood too, her voice steady but soft. "You fit first. Always. If this ever hurts you more than it helps us, we stop." That mattered to him. I could see it. He didn't forgive us that day. But he didn't shut us out either. "Give me time," he said. We did. Months passed. Slowly, carefully, trust rebuilt. Dylan saw that I didn't disappear, that I didn't replace him, that I didn't change who I was to him. And Kara, she laughed more. She slept better. She stopped carrying everything alone. One night, almost a year after the snake bite, we sat on the same porch where everything almost fell apart. Her leg was fully healed. The scar was faint, but still there. "Funny how close we came to losing everything," she said. "Funny how we almost never found it," I replied. She leaned into me, her head on my shoulder. "You stayed," she said again, like it was still the most important thing. I kissed the top of her head. "I always will." That snake took something from her, but it also gave us a truth neither of us had been brave enough to face. And sometimes the most unexpected way to save someone is to refuse to walk away.